Paying for graduate school likely marks a significant shift in your financial life. Before you begin to budget and plan, it's good to know how much your graduate education will actually cost. Tuition is the price for your degree at the university. Your tuition depends on which degree and program you will pursue, your enrollment level, your residency status, or if you reside in a state or province with a reciprocity agreement. Reciprocity is a tuition rate that is lower than non-resident tuition rates, and in some cases, comparable to resident rates. Student fees are separate from your tuition and often are not covered by a financial aid package. Fees are charged to support student organizations and activities and to fund services that enhance the university community. As an enrolled student, you can expect fees specific to your college, individual course fees, a student services fee, a health insurance fee, and service and usage fees. Cost of attendance combines tuition with estimates for everything else that comes along with graduate education, such as books and supplies, fees, housing, and transportation costs. Your cost of attendance helps you consider your overall budget and can be your guide when making financial decisions. One of the primary forms of funding for graduate education is through federal and private educational loan programs. If you are a U.S. citizen or permanent resident, your FAFSA results determine available federal and private loans. If you are an international student and are looking for information about private loans, make sure to explore the Resource Hub for more information. A loan is a very useful way to help pay for graduate school, but there are long-term risks. Over time, you will have to pay back the amount of the loan plus interest. Browse the Resource Hub for more information on student loans. Unlike loans, fellowships and scholarships are types of funding that you don't have to pay back. Other funding sources you don't have to pay back, sometimes referred to as gift aid, are grants, tuition benefits and waivers, and money received from private donors. Fellowships often come from your college, department, or program and may be included with your acceptance to the university. Graduate assistants are graduate students who are also employed by the university to teach or conduct research. With an assistantship, you receive tuition benefits and an hourly wage. Graduate assistants offer advantages to students and the university by meeting critical teaching and research needs, providing financial assistance to graduate students while they pursue their degree, and providing teaching and research experience for graduate students. As you get a sense of your financial picture, you may still have a lot of questions. Start with OneStop. OneStop helps you estimate your costs and gives the most current information on fees you're responsible for paying, billing due dates, how to pay your bill, and payment plan options, financial aid award timelines, how to budget and spend during school, and academic deadlines for each semester. MyU is your personal financial portal that shows how much you owe and when it is due. Use your Internet ID and password to log into MyU. From there, click on the My Finances tab to show your billing and payment history and financial aid amounts. Once you have explored OneStop and your MyU account, try to answer the following hypothetical questions. When do I have to pay for tuition? When can I expect my financial aid money? Is anything due before the first day of class? Can I pay in chunks or installations? A bill on MyU doesn't seem right. Whom can I talk to? What fees do I have to pay? Which of these questions can you answer on your own? Which of them are you still unsure of? Although Gear 1 may not be able to answer each one of these questions, we want to guide you to the right answers. Say you have been awarded loans that cover your cost of attendance for the upcoming school year. After accepting your loans, you learn that you have received funding from a fellowship or grant, or received an assistantship. How does this affect your financial aid package? Money from scholarships, fellowships, and assistantships are part of your financial aid package. As a result, this funding reduces the amount of loans you are eligible for. Why? because federal regulations do not allow loans to be awarded over your cost of attendance. This is called an overaward, and if an overaward occurs, loans must be reduced. If you accepted all the loans you were offered, and aid fellowships or assistantships are added to your financial aid package after your loans have dispersed, you will be billed back through your student account for the amount of loan money you are no longer eligible for. You will owe the university money. This process of getting billed back can create difficulties because you may have already spent the refund you received when your loans initially dispersed. And, since you may be getting paid every 2 weeks for a fellowship or assistantship, the funds replacing loan money may not come in fast enough to pay your bill by the due date. This can cause late fees, holds on your account, and can even cancel your registration for an upcoming term. Be sure to contact One Stop immediately if you have questions about why your loans were reduced and how to pay your bill. And to prevent this from happening in the first place, report all gift aid as soon as you learn you will be receiving this funding. Who can I talk to? Do you have unanswered questions about your financial aid situation? Start by contacting One Stop. One Stop can answer some questions and can also direct other questions to the financial aid staff who can review and/or adjust your financial aid package. One Stop can also provide financial aid counseling. Departmental staff or your graduate program coordinator can answer questions about the type and amount of gift aid you have been awarded. Don't hesitate to ask for their help. Don't be afraid to speak your mind and ask the questions you may think are simple. For most graduate students, student loan debt is a fact of life. Keep 2 key concepts in mind. Never borrow more than you need, and be sure to search for fellowships and scholarships. Our advice is very simple. Live frugally like a student now so that you won't have to in the future. Making informed and sustainable financial decisions throughout graduate school will help your overall mental and emotional health. Fellowships, scholarships, and grants offer new and currently enrolled students the opportunity to fund their academic and research endeavors without the work requirements of an assistantship or the obligation of repaying student loans. These types of funding can last from a semester to a few years and can be funded from corporations and nonprofits, foreign countries, the university, or your own college, department, or program. The world of funding is vast and can feel complicated, but it doesn't have to. Let's look at productive ways to start your search. As you search, keep these questions in mind. Which fellowships am I eligible for? What are the fellowship's financial benefits, commitments, and expectations? How do I apply, and what are the application instructions? When is the application deadline? Does your program, department, or college offer funding? If you haven't done so already, start your funding search here. There may be specific funding available only to students in your college, department, or program. Begin by reading your program acceptance material for funding information, as well as your college and department websites. The Graduate School Fellowships Office administers university-wide fellowships. It is never too early to explore the fellowship's dates and deadlines calendar for available options and requirements. You don't have to search for funding alone. Your advisor will likely be aware of resources and can guide you toward options within your program, department, and/or college. Together, you can create concrete timelines and clarify expectations for future funding opportunities. A graduate assistant is a graduate student who is also employed by the university to teach or conduct research. Assistantships not only help your professional development, but they also help pay your tuition. There are 2 main types of graduate assistants: teaching assistants, or TAs, and research assistants, or RAs. You have several ways to find a graduate assistantship at the university. Does your department offer you an assistantship as part of your admission and acceptance to a graduate degree program? Check departmental newsletters, bulletin boards, and emails for internally posted positions. Visit the Student Jobs Search page to search and apply for openings. Search often. Network within departments and with your professors and fellow graduate students. Make sure to visit the Graduate Assistant Employment Program website. They can help you with your search and provide information on tuition benefits or how much you get paid, as well as eligibility and registration requirements. As a teaching assistant or TA, you work as a faculty instructor and handle many tasks that a professor does. TAs come in a few varieties depending on your field. TAs teach semester-long undergraduate classes and workshops, lead laboratory sections, create and assign a syllabus, grade reports, papers, and exams, and hold office hours for your students. Will teaching at a university level be a brand new experience for you? Are you a non-native English speaker? Are you unfamiliar with classroom expectations in the United States? You are not alone. Let's look for help. Teaching is communicating. The university provides training resources, both online and in person, that will help you develop teaching skills and oral communication techniques. Explore the university's Center for Educational Innovation website. CEI provides workshops, events, and consultations that can help answer your questions and concerns about teaching. The International Teaching Assistant Program offers training and support to non-native English speakers and helps fulfill the university's spoken English proficiency requirement for TA eligibility. Make sure to explore TA options and resources within your college, department, and program. It's good to do this as early as you can. Here are some common questions to help you communicate with your own department or program as you search for a teaching assistantship. How and when are TAs assigned? Is there a standard way that TAs work and communicate with instructors? Do TAs help each other out? What are the students like? What if a student has an accessibility request I don't know how to address? How do I handle academic and workplace misconduct? A research assistant, or RA, is a graduate student who is employed by the university to pursue research and training in their course of study. Descriptions, timelines, and qualifications of an RA are dependent on the specific field of research. Make sure to explore RA options within your college, department, and program. It's good to find an RA supervisor or a faculty member to work with as early as you can. Here are some common questions to help you communicate with your own department or program as you search for research assistantships. How and when are RAs assigned? What is the scope of the research project and what is the role of the RA? Is there a standard way that RAs communicate with instructors and supervisors? Is there proper access to labs, storage, and materials? Do RAs help each other out? Are there safety and procedural trainings? So you got an assistantship. Congrats! Make sure you confirm your employment with your department and complete the required paperwork. Graduate assistant salaries are subject to state and federal income taxes, which means you need to submit an I-9 form to University Payroll Services. Update your personal information and direct deposit preferences in MyU. An appointment percentage is the amount of time you work toward your graduate assistantship and is based on a 40-hour work week. University policy states that graduate assistants can only work 20 hours per week. That means the maximum appointment percentage for a graduate assistant is 50%. The money you earn from graduate assistantships goes towards your tuition, which means you won't need to rely as much on student loans. To be eligible for graduate assistant tuition benefits, you must work at least 98 hours during the semester payroll dates, and you must be registered for the minimum number of credits. To calculate tuition benefits, you multiply your appointment percentage times 2. So if your appointment percentage is 25%, meaning you work 10 hours per week as an assistant, multiply that by 2 and your tuition benefit is 50%, which means half of your tuition is covered during your time as an assistant. You have many new responsibilities and accountabilities as a graduate assistant, and you should be excited to develop new skills, communication methods, and relationships. It's also very important for you to learn best practices to address and report difficult and toxic behavior. Your safety and well-being, as well as your students and colleagues, may depend on how you deal with tough situations. Title IX is the federal law that prohibits discrimination on the basis of sex and gender. As a university employee, it is your duty to report Title IX violations that students and colleagues may disclose to you as outlined in the university's mission to prevent and address sexual misconduct. We encourage you to use the Resource Hub for more University Title IX information. Graduate assistants are required to participate in the university's sexual misconduct prevention training. Preventing sexual misconduct, sexual assault, sexual harassment, stalking, and relationship violence is everyone's shared responsibility. As a graduate student, there are 2 ways in which you may utilize the Disability Resource Center. The first is if you have a disability yourself and need academic or work accommodations. The second is if you are a graduate assistant, you may have students with disabilities in your courses or labs. If you have questions, use the Twin Cities and Duluth contact links in the Resource Hub. The amount of hours you are expected to work per week depends on the assistantship, but it's good to remember to stick to the hours you get paid for. The culture in your particular work environment might expect you to work longer than is required of you, but it is important you don't. If you feel you are working beyond what is required of you, talk with your department supervisor. This is not only university policy, but for your own academic well-being and mental health. If you are an international student with an F1 or J1 visa, federal law prohibits the university from employing you more than 20 hours per week during scheduled class periods and finals weeks. The Office of Student Health Benefits offers 2 different plans: the Student Health Benefit Plan and the Graduate Assistant Health Plan. Student Health Benefit Plan. Students enrolled in a degree program and registered for at least 6 credits, and all international students are eligible for the Student Health Benefit Plan. If you meet the eligibility requirements, you are automatically enrolled for the Student Health Benefit Plan. If you already have health insurance from outside of the university, you need to show proof to the Office of Student Health Benefits to waive your enrollment in the Student Health Benefit Plan. If you are an international student, you are required to have health benefits from the university and should not purchase any other health insurance. Graduate Assistant Benefit Plan. Students holding an assistantship at 25%, 10 hours per week or more, are eligible for the Graduate Assistant Benefit Plan. Students holding a fellowship are also eligible. Enrollment in the Graduate Assistant Health Plan is voluntary. If you are eligible and want to enroll, you need to fill out an enrollment request form. Go to the Office of Student Health Benefits website to find the enrollment form and a summary of coverage, dates, and other details.